All right. Didn't mean to say that.
That was so good.
All right. Welcome back to the Racecomp Engineering. Nope. Welcome back to the Apex Files podcast brought to you by Racecomp Engineering. I'm Drew.
I'm Larry.
And today we have a guest on that has been racing a bright yellow banana GR86.
Yep.
So Fez Babar will be joining us.
Yep. I think he barely just missed out on the podium for the overall this year.
Yeah. He got first overall at Laguna Seca for the last event in the Club TR class of Gridlife time attack.
Yep. So congrats to him on that. It was a spectacular drive, and just that track is bucket list, right?
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about his journey to driving a track on PlayStation and all the way to winning his class there recently. So
and he also works for Toyota as well. So we kind of dive into that and talk about the new Prius a little bit, because why not? So hope you guys like what you see. Please like, subscribe, and share.
Thanks.
So, guys, welcome back to Apex Files podcast presented by Racecomp Engineering. I'm Larry.
And I'm Drew.
And today we have Fez Babar. I believe
that's right.
Oh, yes. All right. We're done with the podcast.
Try.
We're good. We got your name right. We're good.
There you go. Yeah.
So can you pronounce my last name?
Sikelik?
There you go.
All right.
There
you think
you
after
go.
10 years I would be able to do it now?
Larry G. Yeah. My buddy, who I've known for 10 years, he didn't know how to pronounce my name till like recently. And I was like, really?
Oh, shit. So, where are you calling from? You're in Texas, right?
I am in Texas.
Okay.
I'm in the suburbs of Dallas.
Nice. Cool. Nice.
Yeah. Well, first up, we'd like to congratulate you on an awesome end to the season. Your first place finish at Laguna Seca kind of sounds like a magical way to end the season.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it was great. Like a childhood dream track that we grew up playing on video games, and getting my first win on that track was insane. I was definitely fulfilled with emotions there.
That was your first time at the track?
That was my first time at the track as well. Wow. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I assume a lot of sim time beforehand.
Lots of sim time. I mean, we've been playing that track since we were kids, right? So
like 50 different video games, right? You can experience it.
Like the first couple of sessions on that track, it just felt like I was in the moving simulators, that like you see at auto shows. I was like,
they like rock around and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like. And I was like, okay, this is so insane. But yeah, it was awesome.
Cool. Nice. Yeah. So do you do simulators? Do you have like iRacing and?
Yeah, I have it's kind of messy back there, but I have my simulator back there.
Nice. Yeah. What's your setup real quick? Because we have a couple of sim guys. My brother and I have a very basic setup. He's got the full shebang and stuff. So yeah, I'm curious what you use.
So I have a Fanatec DD Pro,
nice.
And then like I got a universal hub on there and then I just mounted about the same exact steering wheel for my car and put it on there. And I was like, just kind of feel the same. And then I have a Samsung G49, I think that's what's called, the 49-inch monitor.
Nice.
And then I took like a bucket seats in my car, so I took the seat out of my car, put it on there.
Nice. Cool.
And then I built everything with wood. I used to live in Nebraska for a little bit, and I had nothing better to do, so I built the sim rig.
That's awesome.
With it, I had no furniture, but I took the passenger seat out of my car, back in the day, and then just like use that as a simulator, eating dinner, using it as a TV thing. So yeah, that's kind of how it started.
Nice. Well, do you have Fanatec pedals as well?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the whole DD Pro, the Gran Turismo package thing that they came out with.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's what I have. I just swapped the wheel out.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been, one of the more recognizable, and you have like a kind of a look at Gridlife events, and that I'm referring to the banana suit.
You got a big following for sure. Banana suit and the yellow car. The first and second gen, right?
Yeah. And so like it's kind of become hard not to like root for you, because you're into it. You got a kind of an exciting driving style, and it just looks like you're having a lot of fun on the track and in the pit and all, and paddock and all that stuff. What is it about an event that you enjoy the most?
Gridlife in general is like one of the most welcoming communities I've ever gone to, and then the fact that like it's not just a race, everyone's just there to have fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're very competitive, one of the top competitive, most competitive classes and most competitive organizations in the country, I'd say. But at the end of the day, they also know how to party. Like my first event, that's how kind of Chiquita Banana thing started. Was I had a Chiquita Banana sticker on my FR-S, and I had a banana suits from college, and then I like just wore that, swapping my rotors, and like all the photographers, videographers joined.
That's your race suit.
That's my race suit. I tried wearing it in the car. I just couldn't get it over the helmet. So, so that was a fail, but it worked out. And then the Midwest Festival, that was kind of my introduction to like how Gridlife really operates and how they party, which made it just easy to kind of assimilate and be crazy as well. The first time I went there, it was there's some dudes with a hot tub, just in paddock,
awesome.
hot tub, margarita machines, karaoke, like just doing just crazy stuff in the paddock. And yeah, that's kind of how I was like, when I wear my banana suit, I'm gonna go do karaoke, and like that's just how it started, and it made me feel more comfortable. Met a lot of people there that made me feel more comfortable. Then just be a riot.
Yeah. You talk about the competition. It is very fierce, and I think throughout all the classes, right? But especially Club TR and Street Mod class. What is that like with drivers, on and off the track? Like, you guys obviously know how to bring it on track, but at the end of the day, you guys know how to have fun and party and still enjoy each other's company, right? Like there's no like big super rivalries in between besides you and all the K powered BRZs and FR-Ss.
Even that, dude, there's no rivalry. We're all there to like help each other out. Like we're all sharing data, we're all sharing video, we're all like helping each other with our cars. Like, yeah, I lost podium this year 2 times or 3 times by 0.003 of a second, like 0.003, 0.002, or something like transponder error, right? That's how competitive the class is. And yeah, everyone's still very chill. We're sharing data with each other. We're partying with each other. We're like helping each other with the cars. Like if the extra parts needed, like, hey man, I got a rotor. Here you go. Like, don't worry about it.
And I think it's because you see that throughout some like the regional races or like HPDs to like NASA SEC events. But I think a lot of people get intimidated by that, right? They go out to their first track day, especially especially a big event like Gridlife. They kind of in their bubble the whole time. So hopefully this gives more reasons for people to go out and make be more comfortable going into their first big event like Gridlife or Global Time Attack or something like that.
And especially in a class that's so competitive, where like you said, you can put together an awesome lap and really like feel like you crushed it and you missed out on a podium by thousandths of a second, because it's that tight. And to have it be that competitive and still kind of have that camaraderie, it's pretty cool to see as a spectator. I can imagine it's frustrating at times when you do feel like you put together that perfect lap and maybe you should have had that breakfast burrito, and that was the difference. But let's
should have gone to the bathroom before,
exactly. your weight reduction,
it's just 5 pounds right there. That's a tenth of a second.
You're in there like a go-kart, just like, let's go.
You're trying to jump the car.
Let's back up though, just to catch people up. You originally had a first gen FR-S, which you tracked and I think did some time attack with pretty extensively, and now you've got a second gen. It's a GR86. It's the bright yellow one with the big wing. So what was the transition like for you, going from first gen to second gen, from a track?
Real quick before that, I want to ask: was FR-S always on your list of cars like to purchase? Were you looking at anything else in the meantime, like Miatas or anything else?
Yeah, so the FR-S, I think I saw the concept of it in like high school, right? And I fell in love with it right there and there. And I wanted something that was lightweight, rear-wheel drive, and then the S2K were the 2 cars I was really looking at. Back in the day, obviously didn't have much of a say. My parents were like, "Oh, don't buy an old car." Little did they know that old car is going to appreciate in value, and it's going to be actually faster. But so I bought the FR-S, and because it was just something that I really wanted, thought it really looked cool. The yellow really stood out to me back in the day as well. I had the TRD exhaust. It was a release series, so I just loved it. But yeah, so that's kind of how it started. Just wanted that car, got it, started doing college stuff with it. Like my first autocross whip in general was with that car, and I broke in the car on the way to the autocross with some buddies, and it was pouring rain, but that's what got me hooked.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. So, but then whenever you picked up the second gen, was it kind of a given that when you saw the details of the second gen, you're like, okay, I'm that's what I'm going with next? It wasn't like a debate about like, you know, what else you might replace your first gen with.
Yeah, like Drew here, so he's debating, you know, should he just swap an FA24 in his first gen or just buy a second gen? We're like, we'll total your car. We'll get you a second gen.
That might be easier for sure. So I was competing in Gridlife Club TR my first year with the FR-S, and my plan was to case swap it. Actually, I saved up some money with Dogecoin and whatnot. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna case swap it to be competitive, and then I wrecked at Mid Ohio, and then that kind of ate away the budget for the case swap. And then around the same time, Savage Geese had released a video on the GR86, and they did a dyno on it, and it made 205 wheel horsepower, right, stock.
Yeah.
And that made me think. I was like, all right, like, well, the FRS with full bolt-ons make my FRS made with full bolt-ons, and E85 made 200. This is already making more as a baseline.
Yeah.
Right.
And if I just use like percentages to see what it would make for depending on the FA20 to when you modify it. I think it was around 250 is what I was kind of estimating, 240 to 250. It didn't make that much, but it was still a very competitive car. And that was like after that Savage Case video, I called my local dealer right there and then. I was like, you know what, like let's get me on the list. I want to buy the car.
Yeah.
And this is when I was in Kentucky, and then they had seen my car at the dealership, like all banged up after the wreck too, because I'm trying to get the EPS tune fix and whatnot too. They felt bad for me, or they liked me or something, and they sold me the car at MSRP.
Wow.
In January of 2022 when everything was crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I wonder how many case swaps Dogecoin has bought.
Probably more than we think.
Probably a lot.
Like probably a lot of them. Yeah.
There's a pipeline from Dogecoin to case swaps.
That's funny.
And fun fact is, it's actually cheaper it was cheaper for me at the time to go from the FRS to the GR86 than swapping the motor in there, because I think the swap was like around 16K.
Yeah, they're not cheap. Because I have an NB Miata, and I was looking. I blew the motor, unfortunately, but I was looking at case swaps too. And to have a full running street car with a case swap, it's over 10-15 grand easily for a street car. And I assume if you want to keep it track, it'd be a little cheaper, but you're still looking over 10K easily for that. Right?
Yeah. And I paid 10K over after selling the FRS to get the GR86, and now I get a new car, brand new chassis, right? You can't compete with that. So
yeah. So you're I mean, obviously the whole RTV issue, it's been blowing up, but we've seen people like you who've run the car hard and push it to its limits and have no issues. We've had other people do the same and been at tracks, and you do the basic stuff and basically try to take care of the motor, because all the factory stuff is just factory stuff, EPA, right? Like no one wants a W20 in that car. But can you speak on your experience about this?
Yeah, I have like a lot of beef with that. It's a lot of people are out there that are just fear mongering, about the car's reliability, about RTV issues or oil pressure drop issues or blowing motors after first or second track days. And like I've met a few people that like didn't know you're not supposed to run 0W20 in a track car, right?
Yeah.
And it's just education. So I've made a few posts on the Facebook pages and whatnot. It's like, hey, stop running 0W20, like run 5W40 or at least 5W30 in your cars, run an oil cooler, because these cars run really hot. The FA24 runs hotter than the FA20, so it definitely needs something. And that kind of went away. Like, and now more people are using 5W30 or thicker oil. And then the RTV issue came on from there. And then again, when you look at I dropped my pan as well just to kind of check. It was 5 walls in there, and only one of the walls was covered by like maybe a third or a quarter of it. So it's not bad. It's not ideal, but it's not bad. Right. I cleaned that out, and then I installed an oil pan baffle in there as well, because I'm tracking its cheap insurance, $200 to do that. So did that, and then yeah, like the car really just needs thicker oil and a little bit more of it.
Yeah.
Right. And,
To
and
be
I think
reliable.
it sucks because like all these new owners, you know, they're hesitant because they're like, oh, we have this car that comes with a year membership of NASA, you know, HPD, but yet if we do anything to the car, then it voids a warranty or whatever, right? Like, or possibilities of voiding warranty. And some people take that limit to like even the oil weight. Like they don't even want to change the oil weight because they're afraid something, you know, if the motor does blow, then Toyota or Subaru is going to deny them because, you know, they use a heavier oil weight than what's recommended. You know.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. You have people that sold their cars because of it, and you have a lot of people that probably sold their car even though they don't track their car because they're just kind of worried, and that's too bad because they should drive the car and have fun with it. But you know, from what we've seen, yeah, there's an occasional issue that's hard to pinpoint a clear cause, and sometimes that there's been data that might make someone nervous, but we have also seen a lot of misinformation, and the GR86 Cup. We did see a lot of misinformation about that series and how many cars were blowing up that we've since learned was not true. So, you know, we're happy to see you and many others just sending it and you know taking some precautions, but you know. Out there running it hard.
But I think those precautions they're like necessary, like
for most cars.
Yeah, maintenance things, right? For like track guys like us, like, you know, those are like the first things you do, right? Heavier oil, you get the baffle oil, aero separator, just the basic stuff to keep the motor healthy.
Yeah, and I think the failure rate is pretty darn good for a series because those cars. I mean, like you said, it's a cup car, it's a cup class, so you have to run it hard if you want to
be competitive.
Right? Yeah. So I mean, the failure rate, you know, any series is going to have some cars blow a motor. That's of course what happens. But it has been pretty good. So yeah, that's good to see.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever saw that during the round, someone posted it on the Facebook pages, the Japanese series, and that they have, you know, it's nice about Japanese series, like it's not just one make that, or, you know, one brand that supplies oil pans. Like they can choose a Tomei one, a STI one. I forget what. There's a couple other companies and stuff,
Cusco and stuff like that.
Yeah. But I remember the STI one, like no one can really get it unless you're part of Subaru, or, you know, STI Motorsports or something. But I don't know, that one people were saying looks the best, right? Because it was a top end bottle baffle or something like that.
Yeah, and it might be the best because no one has ever touched it. Right. So that's why people might be saying that.
Right. It's like Subaru tuning their own horn, but you can't get it, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the best, but you can't have it. Sorry.
Exactly. So on your car, in terms of power mods, you say you've done a few things. I think you're running E85 and maybe a header. And what have you done in terms of power mods on your car?
That's it. 85 and header.
All right.
And then a catback.
Nice. And it's dynoed at how much power?
So I've only dynoed it once at a local dyno shop. They had a really old dyno, and they say that it runs like 5 to 7% lower. But on his dyno, I made 220. So probably like close to 230 would be on other dynos.
To the wheels?
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty solid.
So pretty competitive power wise with the K-swap cars.
For sure.
And you know, approximately the same weight. They might be a tiny bit lighter, especially the first gen ones that are running K-swaps.
They're actually 100 to 150 pounds lighter.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a decent amount.
That's crazy. I mean, because we've seen the timesheets, you know, you're not that far off from some of those.
No, I got first.
Right. And then obviously, you got firstly. So, you know, it's that's just crazy to think about, you know. But
yeah, the K24 as an engine is 80 pounds lighter than the FA24. So can't beat that. It's just no matter what I do, I can't get that 80 pounds out of the car, you know, unless I like start putting speed holes in the car. But yeah.
So do you have any big plans for the car for next season? But or like, I don't know if the Club TR rules are changing much. Like, are you allowed any more, you know, weight loss or stuff like that?
Yeah, so the minimum weight is still 2550 for me. I'm not going to meet that. I'm trying to get a little bit closer to it. So taking the AC out, there's there's like some airbags that are still left in the car, like underneath the dash, and then the airbag that I couldn't reach last time. I was like, yeah, it's whatever. But now I'm like, all right, like if it's like really 0.003 of a second, I gotta take those out. So taking those out, revamping the suspension a little bit, trying to go maybe full sphericals as well. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
And the clubs, you're not allowed to run 3-ways in Club TR, are you? It's just two, it has to be two. Two's the limit.
It's just 2, yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool. Yeah. And has the schedule been released for Gridlife yet?
I'm not sure.
It has been.
Oh, it has. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you? How many events are you planning on making next year?
I did 6 events this past year, and that was a lot. Very expensive. So I'm probably gonna tone it down a little bit. There's 2 Gingerman events back to back in May and June. That's definitely, I'm doing that one, those 2, and then there's Road America and Mid Ohio.
Okay.
Those 4 are probably confirmed for me. The way I make this work is like, I live in Texas, so they're really, really far from me, but I have family in Chicago, so I like to leave my car there.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Leave my car, truck, and trailer with my sister, and then I just fly home.
That's cool.
That's convenient. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, because everything is kind of far from where you are, except for I guess Austin is reasonable for COTA, but they're not. But they did not have event at COTA this year.
They do GLTC. The time attack is done by GTA.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're mainly like you work on the car yourself, right? Like you don't have a shop that's big sponsors you, and you can use their bay whenever. Like you're mainly like a home garage guy type, right?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay.
I have one shop that's partnered up with me a little bit. They do my alignments.
Okay. Is that Marizo?
Marizo is my company.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, so they're BSP Motorsports. They're local in Frisco. Marizo is my shop that I started this year to sell parts and do motorsports consultation for the 86.
Nice, cool.
Nice. So for yourself, like in the off season, do you have any like travel plans? Or what do you do when you're not racing on the weekend?
We used to do some overlanding trips back in the day. It's been 2 years since we've done that. But this off-season, nothing's really planned. Kind of depleted myself of all the vacations. I think Laguna was one of the events where we kind of took some time off to relax as well.
Yeah.
So on the way to Laguna, we stopped in Zion, Vegas, Flagstaff, Arizona to camp out, off-road, like ride our dirt bikes and whatnot here and there before getting to Laguna. So that was kind of our like overlanding trip in a way.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna drive across the country, you might as well hit up some cool spots like that.
Yeah, because you have the Tundra.
Yeah,
was that full on Toyota? I mean, they've come a long way. I think the past 5 years, like it's just besides the sports car, like they're the trucks, the new Sequoia looks amazing.
The Land Cruiser.
Cool. So I think in rumors of the MR2 or MR-S coming back, that new hybrid they put out, concept car, looks great too. It's just everything they've done recently is very promising for like sports car enthusiast people, especially the age we're going into of the hybrid or EV.
You've also recently started a podcast of your own, right? How's that going?
Yeah, it's the Racing Home podcast. It's my buddy from college that couldn't pronounce my name right for 10 years. It was kind of his idea because usually on the way back from all these like long drives from the events, I would call my friends because I'd be bored driving. Yeah. Just to kind of recap them on the event, what happened. They would ask me, I'd ask them about their life and whatnot too. And he was like, why don't we just start a podcast that we can talk about our events and drive backs home and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. We haven't driven back home yet because it's off season, but but we're just having fun, just like talking to each other, just two buddies. That's pretty much it. It's nothing really serious about that.
Yeah. I mean, we've done one crew show, which was just me and Larry, and it was, it's just fun. Like people have asked us, what's the goal with our podcast? Like, what's our strategy? Is like, we just want to talk to people.
Yeah.
Right. We just want an excuse to call someone up and have a cool conversation.
Yeah. We don't have any ads. We're not getting paid by any or sponsored by anybody. Like, it's just fun for us. And, looking, 10 years back and be like, oh, cool, we did this, and we have, we talked to these many people and shared experiences, and it's just good to have and good to do.
Yeah, and in today's day and age, I feel like everything that we do is a time capsule, right?
Yeah,
like
right.
If you look at Facebook, Instagram, podcast is another way to do it, right? It's just conversations that you want to remember forever. Yeah, you can go back in time, kind of in a way, and on these apps, and like find out who you were back in the day, or like the images that you look at, the posts that you look at, some cringe, like I did this today type of post. So it's really cool that we have that ability.
Yeah, especially with like forums kind of dying off a little bit. There's I personally don't think Facebook is the best information distributor, even when it comes to car stuff and tech talk and all that stuff. There's a lot of information that may not be valuable in there, and it's kind of sad because I thought the forums where they did sometimes have some good tech information, and I see some of that in podcasts, and we do a little bit of tech talk. We don't get too much into the weeds on our show, but other shows do talk a little bit more about tech, and I think it's for people that are getting into motorsports or just modding their car in general. I think it legitimately is hard to like figure out who are the people to listen to. What are the things that you do need to do to your car if you take it to the track or whatever, or like how to mod your car. So that's what we kind of try to do a little bit without getting, we don't really talk about brands that much, and we don't get too into the weeds. But if it just kind of sends someone down the journey, that's kind of
because I would like the whole Facebook thing. Like it's all these groups, right? These 2022 groups, like very car specific groups that we used to have Naziac for like all the Subaru stuff
way back.
Yeah, and now it's like everyone turns to these groups, but there's select few people within these groups like you that are actually experienced and know what they're talking about that you can trust. And and I think some people just have to take the time to click on Fez's name in 2022 group, and you'll see a whole long laundry list of posts that he's made and what he's done, and you can obviously tell, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. I'll take some advice from him versus some other guy that's just typing on the internet, right?
Yeah. You also have 1,000 other people that are also saying stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue as well with like Instagram and the influencer age is what I like to call it.
Yes.
There's a lot of people out there that just they're doing it for YouTube views. They're not doing it because they know what they're doing.
Right.
Like I'll give an example. I won't say the name, but this YouTuber asked my buddy for this specific type bar. It's like, hey, what should I be doing to be competitive? And he's like, dude, just reliability mods. Here's all the laundry list of reliability mods that you need to make your car be able to run longer and harder, right? And then you can look into like maybe upgrading turbo or whatever. This dude, the first thing he does is like 500 wheel horsepower Civic Type R, and he blows his engine. Of course he does.
Because that gets views.
Like, it gets views, right?
Yeah.
The power numbers and the drama get views. Reliability mods don't.
Yeah. No, it's the same thing. Like when we talk to some people, they're like, we have 400 horsepower, stock brakes, stock suspension, and what the one thing they want next is more power. What are you doing? No.
Yeah, everyone that's coming to me right now about boosting the car, I'm like, dude, don't boost the suspension.
Seriously.
The FA20 had a lot of reliability mods. Reliability issues with boost too. So
with your new business, the Marizo Motorsports, like what are the clients that you're seeing? Like people wanting to boost their cars. What other stuff are you seeing that maybe you could let other people know? Like take this route instead.
I'm not seeing a lot of guys I want to boost yet. I'm seeing more people that are just intro to track days. They're just starting out. They're trying to figure out what to do. And I just provide them for free consultation, and then they end up buying parts from me. So that's kind of how it goes. Okay. It's like setting them up with brake pads, fluids, things like that.
Yeah.
So in your experience, what are the must-have mods for this chassis?
Like for an entry, for someone's first time at the track and that type of thing, they just got the car and they want to get into track driving.
Yeah. So if they have zero to no experience, or zero to no is zero, little to no experience, Yeah, I'd recommend just doing brake pads and fluids and doing some thicker oil, and that's it. Just go out and have fun. See how monitor your temps, keep it below like 250, 240, and yeah, just go have fun. As you gain more experience, add an oil cooler, add better tires, then upgrade your suspension if you want to, and then go from there. Yeah, like one of my buddies in the Northeast, actually, he's been to 5 or 6 track days. He started with his GR86, and all he's done is brake pads and fluids and oil cooler, and that's it. Yeah. And he's having the best time of his life.
Yeah, it's something we've seen about this chassis. So we Racecomp Engineering got started in like 2003 or something like that. So it was just the WRX first, and then STI when that came out, and we talk a lot about like each generation of WRX, how many of the owners track their car, and it seems like fewer and fewer are tracking their car in the WRX. But at the same time, we've had the BRZ and FR-S and GR86, and that has pretty consistently been a lot of people tracking their car. And we think a lot of people that would have bought an STI to track are now switching to the FR-S or BRZ or whatever. And it makes sense because it's cheaper and tires are cheaper and brakes are cheaper, and it's just a lighter car. But it's also good because it's a little bit less intimidating than a 300 horsepower beast. But yeah, at the end of the day, just go track it with decent brakes and see if you like it and go from there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah, funny thing though is I drove a Supra recently on the racetrack, and that was easier to drive than the 86. So it's like I think power isn't necessarily a thing, but just the way the chassis was, it was just so compliant. Even if it did go out or like slide a little bit, it was so easy to control. With the 86, I feel like you're pushing it harder to maintain the speed. This is more of a momentum car,
right?
That like when you go off or when the car slides, it's a little twitchy, and it's I think at least my car, the way I've set it up, is not the easiest car to drive for most people. But yeah, the Supra got in bone stock, down to the brake fluid was stock. And it was great. What are y'all's plans for next year?
Well, Larry said he's going to start running. He's biking a lot more.
I'm in transition phase of my car right now.
He has a 2015
STI, and I'm moving up north, so I'm going to try to prep it, rally, or raise it, and then
there you go,
proper wheels and tires and stuff. But we got, as a company, we got some pretty nice stuff coming out. Well, the 22 WRX. Have you driven that yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. It's a fun car.
Yeah.
That motor is phenomenal. Out of the box.
I hate the red line at 6,000 RPM. That is a joy kill, but it's bad. But the car is good. Suspension is soft, and it needs diffs. But it's a good car.
Yeah, and we got a couple parts coming out for that, continuing that chassis, which will be nice. So hopefully we'll get more people, out there. We were talking to Rick Wilson at Dirty Racing Products before, and he was saying how the WRX has none of the oiling issues or RTV issues as a BRZ.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, which is interesting, and he's got a full Motec on there, so he can monitor everything. But we're just more confidence of people just to get out there and drive these cars, because these cars are meant to be driven. They're so much fun when you actually push them. And I feel like most people are too afraid to take it to that level.
Yeah. And then, we released a lot of products in the last year or two. And for me and Larry, that meant, installing and uninstalling coilovers and actually shock and spring setups a lot. So I would like to not do as much of that this year. I don't think we need to. We won't need to. I mean, with the new BRZ and the new WRX, we had a lot of work to do there. For my own personal car, I've got a setup that I would like to keep on there for more than a month at a time. So that's cool. And I'm just doing some last few details on my street car. I rally crossed it before, and I probably won't go back to that. It is so much fun in a BRZ. It's not fast. It's just sideways fun.
Nice.
But it is also my street car, so that's maybe not the best idea. And now it's got 3 ways on it. So we're not doing that.
Have you dabbled in other forms of motorsports like rally or drifting?
I haven't. The most drifting I've done is at the festival events, I guess. And the festival events, they open up a session. It's called a taxi drift grip session. So like everyone's on the racetrack at the same time. You'll see Honda Fits, you'll see the Ultimaniac for Chris Forsberg, like the RTR Mustangs. You'll see for pro drift cars and Honda Fits. Like this is just a huge line. And then that's the only time where I'll put like a spare set of tires on there and then take it for a ride and like drift around and whatnot. But it's like power sliding, not really just drifting. But yeah. I want to get into it though.
How close are you to Coda?
3.5 hours.
Okay. I asked because a buddy he used to work at Rally Ready down there, close by, and everyone tells us if you want to like learn great car control, rally school is like the way to go.
Yeah.
And so we've been trying to get our group guys go down there and just for a couple of days and have some fun and learn from the pros of actually car control and rally and dirt and all that.
I've also been meaning to go karting a lot more.
Yeah.
So we should do that.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what do you? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me know if you guys ever come down to Rally Ready. I've been there once after an event, but I'll be down to join you guys too.
Oh yeah, cool. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not too far.
Yeah.
That was the other thing for next year. I want to go to some more events.
Yeah. Yep. Do you do any go karting to besides the sim, just to stay active and
for funsies, like over the off season, me and my friends would go to this outdoor go karting place here. It's not really shifter carts, but they're like 40-mile-per-hour carts or whatever.
That's fine. Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, cool. Because people ask all the time, like, what besides sim racing, like, what can I do? I'm like, if you have a go kart track around, you go out there. Even if it's indoor, it's not ideal, but it's just getting out there and some seat time of like, especially you have good friends that can drive too and make it competitive versus like like in a ride and drive and you're driving with like family and like their 5 kids. Yeah, that's not fun.
I mean, Texas is the off season isn't really an off season, right? Like I have an event in January that I'm going to test the car out. So it's I'll do like the off season events in Texas type of thing, and then I'll do like the Gridlife events during the summer because over here in the summer it's impossible.
Yeah,
it's like 110 degrees. You're dying in the inside of the car. The car is dying too.
It's like a cool suit won't even matter at that point, right? Car's not going to run.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, awesome. Well,
I think that's it from us. You should shout out your social medias and Marizo and your podcast.
Follow me on Fez_Babar from us at Instagram, and then the business BRZ like if you guys ever need anything or need some advice on building a car, building 86, let me know. And also shout out to Apex Files because you guys also got me into learning about all like the technical details. Like that's how I kind of started learning about the car too. So shout out to you guys for that.
Yeah, Drew's the mastermind behind that. He, every time he's popping out these articles and more like, when the fuck did he do this?
I didn't really tell anyone. I just did it. And we built it up a little bit. So
it's great. And hopefully you get more of a following. Obviously Mike Kojima has been such an influence on both of us.
I met Mike Kojima for the first time at Laguna, and I recognized him. I just didn't know who he was exactly. And I was like, hey, you look so familiar. What do you do? And he's just there like talking to me about I have a little electric dirt bike, and he's like talking to me about that. And I was like, yeah, like this is cool, but you look very familiar. What?
That's funny. What electric bike do you have? Because I've been down looking into this, and there seems like that's another big market that's coming up.
I have a Saran. I bought it used. I had a Grom before as a pit bike, and then that just didn't work because when on big events, like you're going so slow that it'll stall out. So a bike was just better because you can literally creep on it. And it's way faster than the Grom. It has 180 foot-pounds of torque or something like that.
Shit.
Yeah, it has the same torque as my car. So it'll pop a wheelie really easily, and you'll hurt yourself really fast. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I know that whole market's been blowing up too, and it's you said it seems so much fun. Like damn, I kind of want to get one, especially people who don't travel far. It seems like the perfect option for something.
Yeah.
Maybe you should get like the city trip.
I have thought about it. I just don't go anywhere that much lately. So. Yeah.
I mean, don't you guys have like dirt bike trails around the area?
No, they're just on the roads.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean there are some dirt bike trails too, but yeah,
they're all mainly like I think West Virginia area. But
it's a fun trip though.
Yeah, it's sad because we always talk about we wish Gridlife came to Summit Point because it's. Have you ever been there?
I have not. No.
Oh, it's a, I guess they consider it a sports complex. There's 3 different tracks in the area. Summit Point, Maine is fucking amazing. It's so much fun. Shenandoah has like the little carousel that mimics the Nürburgring. And God, Jefferson's another one, but they used to have a Hyperfest there before they moved it to VIR, and it was such a blast. And to bring in the because that's the closest thing we have up here in the DMV. When they moved to the VIR, we were all upset because damn, like that was so cool, right in our backyard. And Von Ginn Jr. and Forsberg, that was the first time we rode in one of their cars. They were doing drive, and like the easiest way, I was like, it feels magical. Like they're so smooth with the car and car control, but yet you see on the outside, right. It's literally, and it's like, oh my God, it's like ballet on wheels. Like I don't know what else to put it. It's crazy. But those guys, their level is top notch, right?
Yeah, for sure. How far is Lime Rock from you guys?
Oh, that's
8 hours.
Yeah, it's still a solid 8 hours. Yeah. VIR is closer.
Kind of far.
VIR is 5.
5, yeah. VIR is closer. And then
so Summit Point's West Virginia, and that's like hour and a half, 2 hours, 2 max, depending on traffic.
Yeah. And then we have I forgot what it's called. The one in Jersey, Thunderbolt. That's one of the tracks.
And JMP.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
They're not going there anymore, I think, this next year.
Interesting.
They seem not to do as much there.
Yeah, more like just NASA SCCA events than actual big events. But yeah, that's only 2.5 hours away from us as well. But
I was gonna say you guys should come out to Lime Rock. I might be coming too. If I don't drive there, I'll definitely fly out there to hang out. So
nice.
It's one of those
events.
Know. It's like a great event to just go and hang out at.
I'm hopefully at that point because at that point I might be up north end. So Connecticut's just a state away. So maybe I'll try to stop by there. Yeah. Because I know it's a great complex too, and it's beautiful. And I know the track seems like short, but it's
historic.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
I've heard it's a great track. Like it's short and like doesn't seem that fun to sim, but I've heard it's so high speed that it makes it fun.
Yeah, and it's technical, right? It's So yeah, awesome. Cool, Fez. Thank you very much for joining us today. Again, find you on Instagram, Facebook. Definitely follow the bright yellow car. Oh, is that yellow? It's a wrap, right?
It's a wrap. Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
I kind of bullied into wrapping it yellow to keep up with the banana legacy.
Yeah, but that yellow, it's like the perfect hue. Like
it's a good yellow.
Yeah. It's a great yellow. Yeah. So
thank you.
Nice. Keep going.
It's great to finally meet you. Hopefully we'll meet in person sometime soon.
Yeah. Keep up the great work, man. We love what you're doing. Like we love following people that are always out there and giving it their all. And you always put on a show. But.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for having me. Also great meeting you guys again too. So yeah. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, Fez.
See ya.
All right. Bye.